13 hours, 51 minutes.
Why is your phone light flashing?
It must be the demon.
Give me a moment's peace and take out the trash.
We pay taxes for people to come and take the garbage.
Hey, listen, Greenie, no more sneaking rides to the junkyard. Yeah, man, take a taxi when you want to go to the junkyard.
Hello, and welcome to Hot Trash Unlimited, the show where me, Joe,
and me, Caleb,
review movies and decide whether or not they are hot trash. Caleb, what did we watch this week?
Joe, we watched Countdown at your insistence.
This was another Instagram ad that piqued my interest,
which I feel like is appropriate for the film.
Yes,
we are in prime time for hot trash movies right now, and so I feel like every time we go to a movie, there's always a bit of me in the back of my mind that's being like, we could have gone and seen this.
That wasn't in the back of your mind. That was out of your mouth, actually, afterwards.
It's true, but we did end up going to see Countdown, the movie about an app that counts down to your death.
Our phones have become essential. Apps keep track of our schedules, our fitness, our love lives. But what if an app could tell you how long?
I got 63 years.
57 years.
Before you die, would you want to know?
Joe, why did you want to see this movie?
So first there was a 15-second trailer, the classic 15-second Instagram video, and then it showed a demon. Well, not a demon. It showed a girl just getting floated up and banged on the ceiling, and then she fell down. I was like, this could be bad. Then there was another trailer before another movie where it showed a scene in the movie where Matt, wake up, and she's shaking him because his arm's around her. Then Matt opens the door. He's outside.
Wake up.
Yo, are you calling my name?
And the guy in bed is a demon. I was like, okay, this looks pretty goofy and bad. And then the more and more I hear about it, I was like, this could be Final Destination. And it's not.
So the premise is, really promising. It's, you get an app and it counts down. And if you deviate from the path, then it's going to hunt you down. Right? That's exactly Final Destination, just in like a modern day setting. But this has none of the fun, like, death traps. This is none of, like, the paranoia. This is just a dumb demon with a dumb name. It's told to us by a dumb priest who listens to Lil Nas X. And, some of the most boring kills.
They're all the demon kills. They didn't actually do any of the, like...
I mean, Matt's kind of. The demon...
Yeah, that's the weirdest one. That's the only one where the demon was just like...
Ugesathoff, the app demon, just, yeeted into a truck and was like, okay.
So, yeah, we have our main character, not Jennifer Lawrence.
Well, first off, we have the cold open.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just nameless girl. I mean, she has a name. It's Courtney. But in effect, nameless girl at a party and like everyone's doing the thing. It's explaining the mechanics of the world. This is the best part of the movie because it's teenagers talking in teen talk. They're talking about how they're counting calories and they're not going to be vegan because I want to eat what I want when I want.
I missed that part. I wasn't hearing that. I just heard the stuff about drinks.
Well, what I loved about that was I'm like, well, vegans do eat what they want. It just happens not to be, eggs, cheese, or meat. But no, it's the perfect kind of out of touch goofiness that I wanted from this. And man, if they had kept that tone, I could have forgiven it for having really boring kills. But then we go into the real boring story that's not even worth recapping. A girl gets the phone. She does stuff. Also, Me Too movement.
I was wondering with the whole Me Too subplot.
She's a nurse and a doctor hits on her and it plays out.
Hits on her as a little light, but
no, he gropes her to the point where I thought they were in a relationship, and I was very severely surprised when it turns out they weren't.
Dr. McGrabby hands over here is really handsy.
Yeah, no, the thing was, I was like, because I was gonna make a note of this where it's like, man, they did a really bad job writing her boyfriend. And then it turned out it wasn't her boyfriend.
I was confused because they weren't addressing how handsy he was.
I don't really think this subplot is that bad. If anything, it adds substance to the movie, which is severely lacking. It comes out of nowhere. And then the movie forgets about it for, scene upon scene. And then it comes back and it's like, what is going on?
And then it becomes the reason they're going to solve the curse.
Yeah, the basic gist is that a demon put an app on the App Store.
Gypsy. Sorry, I'm going to have to censor that.
Yeah, I prefer I actually don't like using that word.
I know. I was making the joke the entire time. I was like, you can't say that.
I mean, they use that word a lot, and it just kind of kept getting worse.
I'll take it out.
So you have to trick this demon. The rules of this universe, it could be a lot more interesting. Like, you could play up the technology angle and stuff, like they're doing at the beginning. Mm-hmm. But no, just a demon. I think, though, where the plot of this movie is just very boring and kind of meandering, I would even say. It
had a good rhythm to it up until Matt came into the movie.
I felt like every time there was about to be a spooky scare, I disengaged because, man, those were so drawn out.
I mean, they're doing the stereotypical spooky scares nowadays, where there's the swell. Like this is becoming the new thing. Where before it was swell, spook. Now it's the swell. Wait 5 seconds of silence. And then the spook.
Truly, they are innovating.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did not feel like this was a very tight hour and 30 minutes. I felt like...
Was it an hour 30 minutes?
Yeah.
It felt longer. I was looking at my clock and I was like, I think we passed the hour and a half mark that this movie should have been.
And I feel like once you get to the halfway point, you start getting some really fun characters. Like, I like Matt. I think Matt has a crazy introduction.
His introduction's hilarious. Yeah.
And you really like this guy
Doc.
who runs a cell phone store.
I just relate to him on a retail level. That lady comes in and slams down your phone. He's like, oh, it's not working. Do you always treat your phone with such grace as when you just set it down? It's like, oh, thank you. He's so relatable. If you work retail, you'll get this guy.
And then there's the Panini priest, who is just he's a fanboy. He's a demon fanboy.
But he's a priest.
But also he disappears. Like
he gets out. The last thing he does is get the guy out of the car that hit Matt.
And then
he's gone for the rest of the movie.
Which, like, this character could be really annoying, but I felt like the actor played him with enough restraint where he wasn't. You have all these fun side characters. The main girl and her sister are not that interesting, but they're trying with what they have. But then the spooky stuff, the demon stuff, always kind of just gets in the way.
The demon does something different for everyone. And not just it scares them differently. It decides what the rules are differently for everyone. Like the sister Jamie, was that her name?
Jordan
never broke the rules of the agreement, to my knowledge. So the demon shouldn't have been tormenting her with the rules they established.
Well, the thing is, if at any point you break away from, like, your determined path, then the demon comes after you. But the determined path is so vague that canceling a plan shouldn't damn you to be tormented by Ooga Looga, the iOS demon coming to a phone near you.
I'm trying to think what else there is to talk about this movie. It's so just like there. Why did it come out in November? Did it come out in November?
No,
or did
it came out in
October? Okay.
It's just we held it off because we had other movies to see.
Okay.
I feel
like it should have came out early in October then.
Well, we teased this at the end of Gemini Man.
And yeah.
And it's just, we ended up doing Dark Fate and
Current War.
Yeah, Current War in front of it, both of which I think are better. What I took from this movie was that it was by STX, but it's trying really hard to be Blumhouse.
Oh, it's trying real hard to be Blumhouse. I had to keep reminding myself that it wasn't Blumhouse.
I think if Blumhouse had made this movie, I'm not saying it would have been good, but I think Blumhouse understands how to take their low-budget horror movie and make something at least engaging. Like, I rarely leave a Blumhouse film bored.
Yeah.
Blumhouse, I think, is
what other stuff does
really
STX
smart
do?
studio.
I know I've seen their name around a bunch.
Well, judging by, like, what trailers they showed, completely random stuff. Like, these are the people who
Are
did
they doing
Hustlers
21 Bridges?
And 21 Bridges.
What?
Yeah, I don't think they have an identity, which is fine. A studio doesn't really need an identity.
I was like, yeah, I saw the Hustlers thing, and I saw this, and I was like, and then I saw 21 Bridges.
Yeah, it's weird. There's biopic, then there's a cop drama, then there is the app is gonna kill you movie.
They did Ugly Dolls.
Oh, my favorite movie of the year, Ugly Dolls, starring Pitbull. I think it's Ugly Cat is who he plays.
Ugly Dog. They really don't have an identity. They did that Amy Schumer movie, I Feel Pretty. They did Adrift. They did Edge of 17.
I wonder if they just
Happy Time Murders.
I wonder if they just acquire movies.
They must.
Should we talk about the end? Because I think the end is.
Yeah, we should. No one's gonna see this.
I don't know what I should say the end is because I don't think it's that interesting, but I think it's noteworthy. So they win.
Yeah, they beat the demon.
Excuse me, Joe. Please say his proper name.
I don't know his name, and I'm not gonna say.
begin with a U and then add as many consonants as you like.
What's the guy's name from Black Panther that I always like?
M'Baku.
I thought it was Ubaku first. Ubaku.
Yeah, the sadly not played by Winston Duke demon.
Yeah.
So they beat the demon, and then they have their little family wrap-up moment, and then the main character gets a notification on their phone that Countdown
2.0
has installed, and it shows like Ubaku in the background.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and then it cuts to black. And oh my word, why? Why?
Would you tease?
I wasn't keeping up with the box office on this, but
I mean, it made like 20 million.
do you think we're going to get Countdown 2.0?
I don't know. It's been getting panned pretty hard,
That doesn't matter.
but people are seeing it.
Unfriended got a sequel.
Escape Room's getting a sequel, which I actually heard was pretty good.
I want to see Escape Room.
But I'm down for like the resurgence in goofy horror like that, like Escape Room.
I mean, it looked goofy, but
Yeah.
so did Countdown.
Yeah. Who knows? They can make this better. Ouija 2 was better.
I mean, I didn't see Ouija 1. I only saw Ouija Origin of Evil because it's my boo, Mike Flanagan, directing it. But man,
My boo.
it had some problems. We'll get to Mike Flanagan in a couple weeks, y'all, whenever we get around to Dr. Sleepy.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just shows how soulless this movie is.
It didn't know how to end.
It is not content with just a happy ending, right? Horror movies can have happy endings. Like you can have horror movies that are just sad and depressing. You could have horror movies that are like kind of up in the air. And then you can just have one, they beat the demon. They left. It's fine. And then if you're going to do a sequel, just have it be different people. And these people have to beat the demon. This movie would have been so much better if it was just an anthology because there are so many interesting ways you could go with this premise.
Yeah.
Now we're stuck with a sequel. And not only are we stuck with a sequel, we're stuck with a sequel with the same boring characters.
I like that you've already committed to that. There's gonna be a sequel, and it's gonna be not Jennifer Lawrence again.
Man, I hope not. But
I think I was a little less bored out of my mind than you were.
I did enjoy a lot of this. It's just parts of the movie that I didn't enjoy were the horror. And I feel like that in its own way is deeply frustrating.
My mind was latching on to how the movie was just fighting its own logic. The demon tormenting people that didn't necessarily need to be tormented.
I want them to team up with the demon.
What?
Yeah, I think that's where I want the sequel to go.
My app doesn't work for Google phones. I need to expand my reach.
I just feel like
If you help me, I won't kill you.
I feel like we need a T2 Judgment Day sort of thing. Maybe it's a different demon, and this demon they have to team up with him, but they think he's bad, but then it turns out that he's not, and the cop is actually the demon. Yeah, I want something interesting from this movie, and I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here, Joe.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Maybe it's because by the end of this movie, I was rooting for the demon because I'm like, well, I feel like you're trying. I don't really feel like the director or the writers are trying, but I feel like you are Augustus Gloop, the demon.
So Caleb downloaded the app.
Oh yeah. We need to do this.
We're gonna end it with Caleb figure out when he's gonna die.
Joe's too scared to
Yeah.
figure out when he's gonna die. Okay.
My phone doesn't have 60 gigs worth of space to download this app.
This app in universe takes up 60 gigs of space.
Yeah. What phone can download it that fast?
Who has that much? We all have like a billion emails and just a bunch of photos taking up space.
64 gig phones aren't even 60 gigs worth. It's like 56 after the system stuff.
Yeah, it's wild. Okay, so your countdown is ready. Do you accept your fate? Yes or no? Wonder what happens if I press no.
The app just quits.
Okay, I hit yes. It's loading.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
Okay, 30 years, 195 days, 13 hours, 52 minutes, 51 seconds.
Okay, so you need to deviate from the path. Well, no, then the demon will still kill you on the day
here's
of.
the problem. I have 30 years to deviate from the path. I feel like
Caleb, you're supposed to die you're supposed to die in Mexico. If you decide to never go to Mexico, you're deviating. If you say right now, I'm never going to Mexico.
30 years though. So
That's a lot of tormenting.
I'll be 52. I feel like I could get enough done in 30 years. Joe, legitimately, if there was no demons attached, would you want to know when you would die?
You're not talking in a movie sense. You're talking in a real life sense?
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay. So I feel like you have the appropriate answer and the answer that like everyone's supposed to. But I think if I knew when I was going to die, I could get I could give away my stuff. That's the big thing. I want to know so I can give away stuff.
So you can just
people.
be charitable.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't have to worry about making money. I can just quit my job when it's appropriate, give away the money. I don't know. And then I can travel and stuff. I feel like I'm not afraid of death. I welcome it when I'm 52.
And no sooner.
Tune back into the next episode of Hot Trash Unlimited in 52 years when we decide, or 30
Whether
years.
or not this app works, we're going to film Caleb's death live.
We never said if it was hot trash or not.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that part. No, it's just bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
All right, bye.